Why is that any better than calling someone a slur? I'm serious.
I don't think you can really answer that.
I get quite bad.
I can. I'd rather be misgendered than punched.
There was a case done in 1995 on the brain, and they looked...
There we go, transmed argument. Literally, most trans people don't agree with what you're saying. You claim to care so much about this, and you're going for like the worst argument possible that almost no trans people will back you up on.
You seem so well-rounded and eloquent that I don't think you are woke, and I think within a few years...
Yeah, see, Andrew is falling a bit into the trap of, well, you're sensible, so you must agree with me.
Sorry, that's just anti-trans.
This is a Andrew Gold video that I meant to watch yesterday that we are now watching today instead. I investigated the UK's most triggered campus. He posted a shorter version of this on the Heretics channel, I think. And it just seemed too good not to. So, let's see. This seems to be... So it's someone called Connie Shaw who got in trouble for having problems with trans women claiming to be actual women. And then this person apparently is not very happy with her and wanted to confront her about it. So we had a bit of a street interview, I think, street debate. Andrew Gold and Connie Shaw against this person. Let's see what happened.
We're going around in circles just because you...
Yeah, we're going around in circles because narcissists don't have enough empathy to ever listen to people like me.
She's hardly spoken.
Fine, speak more then. Like, speak more. You want her to speak more, tell her to speak more.
Would you like to speak more?
This is the UK's most...
About what? About what, mates? Crazy. Crazy.
censorious campus, where speaking your mind costs you your job and even your freedom.
They try and
I think this is Leeds University, I'm not sure.
take your livelihood away. They try and shame you publicly. I think what's going to happen now is they're going to lock you up.
You can think that I'm hateful, and lots of people do, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to change your mind on that.
And a wrong word can turn the students against.
I've seen a couple of interviews with this Connie Shaw person. She seems pretty intelligent, honestly, and I see where she's coming from. You don't have enough empathy to listen to me. Yeah, like, these people don't know each other, by the way. The other person knows who Connie Shaw is because of the controversy she's been in, which I forget exactly what it was. I think she helped turf out some man from a women's bathroom, and then there was something else, like saying, oh, student radio, saying that trans women aren't women, something like that. Which is true. I'm a trans woman. That isn't a woman. That's a man. You know?
Should Connie Shaw be expelled?
I would love to see that personally, but that's only because of my anger.
My old university, Leeds.
I mean, at least she's honest. At least she's honest. Yeah, but just because I'm angry. Yeah, I hope she dies, but only because I'm angry. I don't know.
Caused a stir when its debating society refused.
Britain's soyest. I think he said most censorious or something. I'm not sure. I can't be asked to go check. He might have said soyest, who knows?
To allow therapist James Esses to debate gender ideology, claiming that even to hold the debate would be to undermine marginalised groups' sovereignty. An interest.
Is trans a marginalised group? Can we claim that? Can we claim that? I'm not sure we can. I think when literally the definition of trans just seems to be anyone that calls themselves trans, I don't see how we can call ourselves a marginalised group. Because anyone can just say, I'm trans, and they're like marginalised now? Like, should like protected characteristics be like opt-in? I'm not sure about that personally.
Interesting word suggesting minorities should hold supreme power or authority. Antisemitism is rife, and Palestine flags and marches have taken over the campus, even occupying a building. The Jewish...
Yeah, sovereignty is an odd word to use. I'm not quite sure exactly what they mean by that, but hey.
Society has been scared into silence.
Oh, of course they've gone after the Jews. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, if you're anti-Semite, then you're probably left-wing at the moment. It's just how it is. And then you like trans people, which is great. You know, I totally want anti-Semites liking me. Ethan is case in point for anyone who calls himself trans. Well, pretty much any trans person that you care to name is a case for that, honestly. It's become a joke. Of course it has, because it's just calling yourself something. Like, it is a joke, so to become a joke, like, that's just inevitable. Wait till they find out that different minorities, the ones that aren't protected by the leftists. They probably know and hate all of those minorities, but I'd need to know which one it was, to be fair.
Its buildings defaced and its rabbi accused of genocide, threatened with death and forced into hiding. This is...
Yeah, Leeds University. Andrew Gold is Jewish, right? Maybe, I'm not sure. He's really mad about anti-Zionism and won't handle any nuance in the issue, I've noticed. I'd have to see examples. I don't really typically talk about the Israel-Palestine thing. I think a lot of the anti-Zionist shit, unfortunately, has become extremely culty and extremely aggressive. See also trans rights. Amazing. Can't believe leftoids stole anti-Semitism from us. Hey, it happened. It happened. You're lot are going to have to stick up for the Jews now, unfortunately. Gold is Jewish. Okay. I've no idea, to be clear. I'm not Jewish myself. I'm not a Muslim myself. I'm not from either Israel or Palestine. It's something I prefer not to talk to be honest. Talk about, sorry. I don't blame you for not waiting it. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, I have a lot of sympathy for, like, the Palestinian people, but I feel like I can't really say anything about it because I'm a Westerner, and every Westerner that talks about this shit seems to be insane and sociopathic, you know what I mean?
Is in line with what many see as draconian censorship across British campuses, and it's only getting worse.
Can't live their life as they want to live because you've decided they can't.
And it's all come to a head at Leeds, where student Connie Shaw has made national headlines after being fired from the Leeds student radio because she doesn't believe trans people can change sex. She also interviewed controversial Father Ted and IT Crowd writer Graham.
Oh yeah, no, I'm remembering now. I didn't really remember much of the controversy, but he's explaining it, so that's good. So most of this is about someone called Connie Shaw.
Linehan about gender and criticised the campus for paying for...
Like, straight away, why can someone not talk to someone else anymore? That's just nuts. Anyone with a take beyond people dying is bad tends to be overstepping their bounds in my experience. Maybe. It depends on what they're saying. I don't blame people that, like, actually get super into the issue and try and make sense of it, because I feel like I'm doing a similar thing with trans, but I don't know. I don't have enough of a death wish to do that kind of shit. Doesn't have an opinion because he ain't never been there. Fair enough. No one's obligated to think anything about anything, honestly. That's how I feel.
Controversial binders that squash women's breasts. I was hoping to get on the radio's Politics Hour to ask them what made them fire Connie. But are students more concerned with protecting vulnerable minorities?
Maybe don't go to GB News and sort of spread this opinion.
Or are they pushing back against oppressive
I'm not a big fan of GB News, but, like, come on, bro.
censorship?
University is supposed to be a place where you get your ideas challenged.
I was back at
Yes, ooh. Rare, surprising base take.
censorship.
University is supposed
There we go. It's possible.
to be a place where you get your ideas challenged.
I was back at Leeds Uni to find out on the ground what some of the students really think about censorship on campus.
Where is the line with free speech? What shouldn't be said?
Anything that is hateful, anything that brings people down, anything that endangers people.
Anything that's hateful. So straight away the problem is, well, what do you consider hateful?
Well, I think the case of Connie Shaw recently, for example, is a clear-cut case of someone who's saying something which, to most people outside of a university campus, is not that controversial, but which here seems to be, and for that reason she was cancelled.
Okay, he's not justifying it, he's just saying what he sees as happening. Fair enough. I was like, my eyes were like widening, but I think he's probably just summing it up. Let's not like lose our shits, I guess.
Campus is not that controversial, but which here seems to be, and for that reason she was cancelled.
Why I don't think free speech.
Oh, it does work. Great. I did change it earlier, so I was hoping it would. It didn't work yesterday, and when I'm already streaming, I can't really change it, unfortunately, because I can't. I know, boring. You don't want to know.
Speech should be basically a free-for-all to spread what you want, is because it damages people. That's where you
How so?
need to draw the line.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Damages people. I guess I'm damaging a lot of people apparently then.
Words violence.
Yes, definitely, absolutely.
Words can lead to violence.
No. I mean, unless you're literally inciting, saying go kill someone.
What's worse, punching someone or...
That one guy is like pretty smart. Like, fair play to him, honestly.
Or misgendering them?
I don't think you can really answer that.
I get quite bad on one.
No. I mean, unless you're literally inciting, saying go kill someone.
What's worse?
Yeah, like to me, the exceptions I put to free speech, I'm pretty pro free speech. I kind of draw the line at like violent rhetoric and like, you know, encouraging people to commit violence. I'm also very against things like misinformation, but trying to actually police misinformation is completely impossible nowadays because we live in a society that's post-facts, basically. So really, there's not much you can do about misinformation because what is misinformation very much depends on who you're talking to, so it's difficult. Physical assault and misgendering, these are equal crimes. Yeah, of course. Listen, it makes total sense if you don't think about it for any length of time ever.
Punching someone or misgendering them?
I don't think you can really answer that.
Wait, what was I keep missing the first part of the question. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Or misgendering them?
And go kill someone.
What's worse, punching someone or misgendering them?
Oh my god, that is the easiest question in the history of questions. What are you doing?
I don't think you can really answer that.
I get quite bad.
You can't answer that? I can. I'd rather be misgendered than punched. Like, excuse me? Like, really? Oh my god. Words are violence, silence is violence, but punching a Nazi or transphobe, not violence. Yep, that's how it works. You just decide who's good people and who's bad people, and then just treat anyone you've decided is bad like shit.
Mouth ulcers, so if I got punched in the face, I'd get weeks of... So for me, that's the context.
Yeah, you would rather someone misgender you
Yes.
than punch.
Yeah, everyone would rather be misgendered than punched. There are like not many people out there that would say the opposite. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe. Well, it's your opinion, because like you've got ulcers in your mouth, so it would hurt a lot. But if someone doesn't have that, then the misgendering might hurt more. Like, come on, really? Don't patronize people.
Punch you, and that's based on your own lived experience.
What? Would suspect her parents are far from this work. Yeah, probably.
Misgender you,
Yes.
then punch you, and that's based on your own lived experience.
Well, whether you'd prefer being misgendered or punched is based on your own experience. What? Oh my god, what is going on here? Like what? Like, really? I'm so confused.
Experience.
Should Connie Shaw have been kicked out of Leeds Student Radio?
I'd agree with that decision, but they only have a lot of queer members, they have some trans members, and ultimately, you know, Connie's speech was making them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a terrible, terrible take. People should think about why they're being made to feel uncomfortable.
Trans members, and ultimately, you know, Connie's speech.
I mean, unless there's like an actual example of her saying like genuinely like hateful kind of stuff or like violent kind of stuff, I don't see how you can, like, you're a man, bro, like, come on.
Was making them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she's spreading hateful ideologies.
She was sort of saying
Spreading hateful ideologies, there we go then.
how she's been quite quickly been removed from LSR, the student radio, but she doesn't really make it clear why, and I don't think she knows
Doesn't make it clear why.
why either. I think there was a reason, but we don't know it.
I can't tell if this guy is like glad about it or not. I'm not sure. I'll suspend judgment.
What I hate is that she's just pulled things that back up her horrible, horrible, horrible point of view. She does just kind of go, well, trans women are not women, and she just sticks to that biological.
Protecting minorities doesn't mean silencing others. IMO, violence and threats should be censored, not opinions. Yeah, I agree with that. Hope you're good.
Thing.
Are trans women women?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm of the
Based on what? How am I a woman? Go.
Understanding you can't biologically change.
Well, you can because we've done it. And I think if it was
We can because we've done it, have we? You've got males with their penises inverted and they took HRT. Is that becoming a woman? How so?
wasn't possible, we wouldn't be able to do it to the human body.
Why would...
What? Are you fucking... This person... I've never heard someone so confident and so stupid both at the same time. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm of the understanding you can't biologically change.
Well, you can because we've done it. And I think if it wasn't possible, we wouldn't be able to do it to...
I've literally done it. And I'm saying no, it's not possible. What I've had done to me, that doesn't make me a woman. Like, they can only speak in generalizations because they can't answer. Yeah, they speak in generalizations because if they give examples, then they can look up those examples and counter them. I've noticed this for a long time. It's gross. It's disgusting. There's a reason why whenever you ask for examples from someone, they always lose their shit or just duck out. Or when you write about something, rather than just say, hey, yeah, maybe you're right about that. Maybe I need to think more about it. Just block them. Nah, fuck you. What you're saying is correct, but it's inconvenient for me, so I'm pretending that never happened. Some intersex person has done it, so that means all people can do it. Hey, maybe.
To the human body.
You will never be a woman. I agree. Hi, D-Soul. Hope you're good.
Why would I say you're not a man or you're a man? I'm no one to tell you who you are. Like,
if there was a...
Well, yeah, but he's a man. This is a man. Do you know what a man is? This is an example. This is an example of a man. You see, when boys get to a certain age, admittedly a bit arbitrary, where we decide that they're adults, in this country 18, for example, that's what a man is. I don't know how you're getting confused here.
Because we've done it. And I think if it wasn't possible, we wouldn't be able to do it to the human body.
Why would I say you're not a man or you're a man?
Oh yeah, fake leftism is like rampant in these parts. What I find is they like invoking like the leftist stuff, and usually they're like pro-abortion and pro-taxing the rich, etc. But they're also very materialistic and individualistic, which is just not what leftism is supposed to be about.
No one to tell you who you are. Like,
if there was a man going into a woman's changing room...
I'm not the type of person to care, frankly.
There's an point.
Okay, because you don't care, no one else should. What about the people that do care? What about people that have actually been in situations that have perhaps informed their perspective? You know what I mean? Who cares what a student thinks? In order to go to debt for studying sociology, they need to be privileged people. I mean, some of the people that have been answering his questions seem quite smart, honestly. Like, it's the next generation, ultimately, you know? Some of these people might be in positions of power one day. Notice that these people are always individual narcissists preaching collectivism. It's very surreal. Yes. And then as soon as there's any issue between them and someone else, they become the most completely individualistic, narcissistic fucking person like I've ever seen. Andrew Paul Wachowski. Oh, one of the... Yeah, fair enough. A poor young lady is very confused. Yes, agree. And unfortunately, she feels emboldened to act a certain way because of it.
Where you can just be being mean to people. Do you know what I mean? And it's...
Shouldn't you be allowed to be mean to people? Legally?
You're allowed to be critical, I feel, you know, and
but not mean.
Why aren't you allowed to be mean? Like, come on, bro. I feel like some of them, they're going to start saying some kind of dumb stuff and then kind of realize what they're saying because they're being pushed back on, which doesn't happen enough. People don't challenge each other's views enough, unfortunately. But I don't know. This guy's got work to do. I'm sorry.
Is there a culture of censorship that you can't say what you think in the campus?
I think that's absolutely right. There are lots of students who feel like they have to adhere to a certain point of view.
I don't think there has been a censorship sort of culture.
Who said that?
You can say a lot of stuff.
Andrew Gold, a fascist? How is he a fascist? Isn't it technically illegal to be rude in the UK? Quite possibly, but if that's the case, then it doesn't get enforced very much. I think there has been like potential examples in recent times, but I don't know.
And kind of get away with it, to be honest with you. You'd be surprised.
I think it's not okay.
To be racist?
Yeah, there are things you cannot say.
Maybe don't go to GB News and sort of spread this opinion. It just seems quite abrasive as a student to have such like loud views on this.
Isn't that what being a student's about, though?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think testing your, really going maybe outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Quite a lot of these people seem misguided, but they probably could come out of this shit quite easily. Like, I think I have at least a bit of faith in these people, I guess. And it's mostly going to be about that particular person that that soys the fuck out at Connie Shaw. That's really the money shot here,
Zone test.
Fascist equals someone I don't like. Yep, that is exactly what these people mean. Oh, thanks for watching, Mr. Bonnie. Happy New Year.
What your critical views are, but
I think there's certain taboos in conversation which you just shouldn't do. Like, you just need to chill out, I think, yeah.
I went into a shop once and a white guy asked if he was describing what colour lighter he wanted, and someone else said, oh, you can't say black.
Shut up.
Literally.
Oh my god. Amazing.
That's how like fragile and afraid people are just to mention things, like especially if you're white.
Is it possible there are actually...
That guy's based. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, amazing.
More people who want more free speech.
I think that's absolutely right, particularly amongst young men.
It's kind of like a Marxist undertone or invasion.
Like the body snatchers, they've all been taken over, I suppose. Is there a pushback among young people?
I think it's kind of the pendulum swift is going the other way.
A lot of young people voting for Farage.
Yeah, like I voted for reform as well.
Should Connie Shaw be expelled?
I mean, I would love to see that personally, but that's only because of my anger.
You were saying before that you just want everybody else to think the things...
Why are you angry? You're not even trans.
Things that you think, and that's the only way it should be, and that's the best way it should be. And some would say that that's narcissistic in the same way that you would accuse Connie of being so, and the same way that I am about my own views. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and I so resent what you've just said. No, because look at what my views are compared.
He calls other people narcissists, but he makes a suggestion, even though he's saying that this might be true of him as well, and she doesn't like it. It's interesting. It's really, really interesting, The
way that you would accuse Connie of being so, and the same way that I am about my own...
Yeah, she's like nodding. Like, but then when it comes back on her, suddenly it's not okay. Like, she's literally sat there, yeah, I think you're a bad person, and he's just taking it, but she can't take it in the reverse. Gross.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and I so resent what you've just said. No, because look at what my views are compared to Connie's views. I hate people that feel an inherent biological thing. My views...
I'll take a source on that whenever you want.
...are we should all love each other and get along so we can actually...
Listen, I've seen bits of this. This person is full of shit when they say, we should just all love each other. Because she doesn't believe that at all. You just don't. You're just lying. Just stop lying.
Enjoy our life on this planet.
Did Connie say she hates those people?
Don't quote me specifically.
Every time. Every fucking time. Well done.
I would really like to address her personally, I mean, but...
And that's when the woman of the hour, Connie Shaw, turned up.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, look, that's nice. You were just saying you can understand why people would be violent to Connie. What did you mean by that?
I meant that your views are so hateful and so damaging that the anger that is produced from that.
I love it. Your views are hateful and damaging. Damaging how? To whom?
There was a case done in 1995 on the brain, and they looked...
There we go, transmed argument. Literally, most trans people don't agree with what you're saying. And plenty of trans people don't want there to be anything like a brain that you can look at and say, oh, that person's trans, because they want self-ID. So you're not even singing from the same hymn sheet as the people you claim to be sticking up for. Amazing.
Male to female transitioners and saw that inherently their brain was a female brain. My brief search showed this. So if only a brief little thing can show all this, then imagine
if you'd looked further into it. Do you believe in women's brains?
Yes, Andrew. Yes. Amazing. I love that line.
Imagine
if you'd looked further into it. Do you believe in women's brains?
No, that experiment that you're talking
No, women don't have brains.
about has been widely
We should all love each other and get along, said by hateful person. Yes, exactly.
disputed, and even if there is such thing as a female,
With their similarities, not that they're identical. Yeah, there's not enough. There's not enough going for the trans brains theory. There's not enough to show that brains are all that sexually dimorphic beyond that they grow in a enclosed space that probably dictates around how big it's going to be. And then you can look at like trans brains that might show a difference, but almost every time they've been on HRT for however long, which does affect your brain in some way. So it's like this is bunk. Like, people think I'm a trans medicalist. I don't believe really any of this stuff. I don't think trans really means anything, honestly. I think it's pretty fucking meaningless. Like, oh my god, why would you go for the trans brains thing? Like, you claim to care so much about this, and you're going for like the worst argument possible that almost no trans people will back you up on. It's amazing. It's just fucking... I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to that. They were on estrogen for years. Yeah, that's what I mean. There are changes because of like HRT, but there's just no real evidence that brains are like sexually dimorphic enough that we can start talking about trans brains. Like, I would be willing to bet that one of the biggest like factors in like brains being like dimorphic is that women's skulls are smaller.
brain, the fact that it...
By the way, I'm not like a neurologist or anything like that, so don't put too much stock in what I say about shit like that, okay?
It's in a male body doesn't therefore make that person female. So I'd be interested to know what your definition of female is, because my definition of female is a body which is on the biological pathway towards producing gametes.
You've basically decided this because you just decide that it is. And
I wonder what this person thinks the process is for making children. I wonder if they understand reproduction.
Also, you have no empathy, so therefore you have no...
And they just go straight to like personal like shit. And I would be willing to bet that people like this, someone like this thinks, because they're not saying anything bigoted, even though they're making all kinds of wild assumptions about this other person, that somehow this makes them a good person. Like, this is the kind of shit that, like, you go on Twitter and spend any time there, some wokeoid is going to do that shit to you. They're going to say all kinds of disgusting things about you. But because they're not being bigoted, they get to claim that they're not technically attacking you. Well, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. No one is more genuinely hateful than an ally. Maybe not.
No empathy to apply to the situation.
Why do you say she...
Yeah, like, just making these crazy assumptions about her. Do they know each other personally? Is there history here? It doesn't seem like they've met before, but sure.
She has no empathy.
You don't understand it, so you have...
No, because you don't understand it. I'm going to point at you, like, that's really going to fucking help.
Deemed it not a thing, but it is a thing because there are millions of people that are trans, and I resent...
Is that even true? How many trans people are in the world? Okay, it might actually be because the global estimate is around 2% and there's 8 billion whatever. That might be true. When they have no real arguments, they jump to insults. Yep.
Say she has no empathy.
You don't understand it, so you have...
Yeah, we need to start like pushing back more when people make these kind of like crazy baseless assumptions about other people. Why is that any better than calling someone a slur? I'm serious. I'm fucking serious. You're like impugning someone else's character baselessly, but you get to pretend that you're okay because you're not saying slurs, because you're not going after immutable characteristics, even though what you support and what you advocate for literally is. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. We need to, like, people that do this, They need to get fucking bullied for it every single time it happens.
Deemed it not a thing, but it is a thing because there are millions of people that are trans, and I
has to do with brain symmetry, and people with that symmetry of opposite gender are more likely to be gay. So there's a link, but it does not give a full picture of brain being trans. Okay, fair enough.
resent you for deciding, oh, and as many people have, oh, I am not trans, so therefore no one can be trans.
When has she said that? I've watched like 1 or 2 interviews. I'm not intimately familiar with like Connie Shaw's opinions, but when did she say that? Like, really? And again, you get to lie about people with impunity because you're a good person. Like, how are you better than like someone being genuinely bigoted? You know what I mean? Why is it worse to say slurs than to fucking lie about people and impugn their character based on nothing?
Who are you to say that? You've denied the brain thing, so you're saying someone with a female brain trapped in a male body.
I know one of a good argument for trans being gay conversion. Yeah, kind of.
The brain thing, so you're saying someone with a female brain trapped in a male body can't live their life as they want to live because you've decided they can't.
What do you think about the female?
So angry. She's so... the hatred on her face. Like...
life as they want to live because
oh my god.
You've decided...
These are the good people, are they? These are the people that are sticking up for my rights, are they? Like, fuck that. No thank you.
They can't.
What do you think about the female brains trapped in the male bodies?
No evidence that that is physically possible. Define female brain, yep, indeed. No real evidence for it, not a thing. You can't be a person with a female brain trapped in a male body. That used to be like metaphorical language, but now we literally have decided that that's what we think. And it sucks. ContraPoints is a lot to answer for, and she wasn't even saying that she actually thought that kind of shit. But yet somehow, now that we do that, you know? Now we all think that.
Believe in biological reality and material facts.
Yeah, to me, someone calling someone else a slur, I don't think that's as bad as putting words in someone else's mouth and like lying about them and impugning their character based on nothing, you know what I mean? Detect a smile under that fact, it seems performative. A lot of these people do get off on this shit, to be honest.
I don't believe in a concept of a soul in any way, whether it's a spiritual one to do with religion or if it's to do with having a gendered soul. So I'm not denying that trans person exists. I'm just saying I don't believe...
Some weird cuts here. What happened here?
Or if it's to do with having a gendered soul. So I'm not denying that trans person exists. I'm just saying I don't believe your own belief.
Yeah, this whole like, oh, our existence is up for debate, is not up for debate. No one's debating your existence. They can see you clear as day. You're in front of them. You exist. What people are arguing with is your like self-perception. You can't claim female brain and self-ID. Yeah, true. It's wild. Like, either there's some physical reason as to why trans people are trans, or there isn't. Like, let's pick one or the other. I mean, we've mostly gone with self-ID, but I still see these like freak fucking ally types pushing like the brain shit. It's like that not defining guy. He's a YouTuber. He does the same shit. He makes like trans med arguments. Like almost no trans people even agree with you. So like, what are you doing? Female brains always prove their male brain in the end. Yeah, true.
Beliefs about yourself.
Do you think maybe 50 years ago, if Connie had said what she just said about Christianity, that she might have faced the same kind of vitriol from students saying, you're saying we don't exist, you're saying our thing isn't right?
Probably, yeah. I don't understand how that point links to our argument, though.
But this...
Probably, yeah. I don't understand.
Had to admit something. That's quite... I might have to watch that again. That was quite gratifying, actually.
Students saying, you're saying we don't exist, you're saying our thing isn't right.
Probably, yeah.
Yes, eat some crow. Fuck yeah. These people almost never concede on anything, you know what I mean?
I don't understand how that point links to our argument, though.
But the suggestion that she...
Okay, if you think that, do you think that transphobia is just recycled homophobia? Because that's the same basic argument on the other side.
Is making, I believe, is that this is it fair to say it's a modern incarnation of a religious belief? So, and this is a religious belief you hold.
In the sense that it's like unfalsifiable, then yeah. Like, gender, like self-ID gender identity, it's unfalsifiable. There's no real evidence that any of it exists beyond people saying it does. And I could say that I identify as a guinea pig, but I'm clearly not a guinea pig. You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe my views are fueled by my spirituality, and I'm trying to separate that because I do want to come at it from a more scientific.
At last, it looked.
Yeah, but I mean, screaming at people you don't agree with and calling them, saying they've got no empathy and shit like that, how's that helping? If you're trying, then fucking try. Don't just say you're trying to be better and then do all the toxic shit that everyone's fucking sick of.
Like we'd reached an understanding. It didn't last long.
Now that Connie's explained her rationale, do you regret suggesting she has no empathy? Could it be that she has empathy for different causes?
No, I very much believe that you have no empathy, especially...
Psychopath.
I wouldn't...
Yeah, because you know this person, like, at all, based on what's been going on here. Like, yeah, okay, sure, bro.
say psychopath, but I would say narcissist. See, you love it. You love...
It's like, as if you know this person. Who was that weird freak that joined my Discord? They were doing the same shit. I keep forgetting what their name is because disgusting. I have no idea if they're going to stick around for any length of time because fuck that shit. I don't know why people just get to say anything they want about me and then I have to play nice with them.
Love this negative attention. You even said it, that it fuels, you know, and that is narcissism.
Are you a narcissist?
I've noticed the I identify as an attack helicopter meme is now regarded as a thoroughly bunked canard, but no one has ever explained how it's actually different from non-binary self-ID. It isn't. It isn't. It's the same fucking thing. I can identify as a fucking mule deer. Am I a mule deer? Do I have, like, antlers and shit? Do I bounce along on four legs? No, none of that. Unfortunately. I'd love to be one, as long as I'm not hunted or something.
I haven't been diagnosed officially, but maybe.
Okay.
I used to believe the same as you.
This is what actually backs up my claim about your narcissism, is the fact that because you're
No, nothing does, because you don't know each other, and you're basing it on an opinion you know from this person that you don't like. That's the opposite. That's the absolute opposite. This is like literal Twitter argumentation.
You. This is what actually backs up my claim about your narcissism, is the fact that because your lack of empathy, you couldn't connect with it enough, and then you connected way more.
And this, oh my god, I get so much of this shit too. I'm realizing how much I relate to, no, it wasn't Boy. I don't think he joined he joined the Discord, we had an argument, then I blocked him. There's someone that joined, someone joined at the same time as D Now, but D Now is fine, like, we're cool. Someone else called D something, but I can't see it because I'm on stream at the moment. They were like going off on me on fucking Twitter for like a good whole morning. Eventually I got myself fucking muted for like 12 hours, thankfully. Jesus Christ. I'm off my meds, so I'm a bit more easily kind of set off at the moment, you know. But yeah, said all kinds of disgusting things about me. And this is what they do. They just invent your thought pattern for you. Well, clearly you've been doing this. When it's like, well, no, you don't know what I've been doing because you don't know me. And I can say that to the rest of the time. You don't know me, so what you're saying has no basis in reality. And like, really, that's all Connie Shaw would have to do. I mean, I don't know if she's going to say more that she might feel obliged to defend herself from. But I get the same shit. This is literal Twitter argumentation in real life. Amazing. Amazing. Tell me again how most transgender allies aren't complete utter freaks, you know what I mean?
With the hate. And these kind of people, the ones that connect with the hate more, they're running the world.
This is pseudoscience. This is like bunk, like concussion psychology. This is the kind of shit you say when you just got fucking banged out by Mike Tyson or something. I don't fucking know. Where did these people come up with this shit? Next I'm going to find out she's like a psychology fucking student or something.
This is why this
very clearly suffer from youthdom, it will pass. I don't believe that, to be honest. I know so many people much older than me that are like this. I've had people show up in my chat that like used to scream at me and shit that are like several years older than me, and I'm not that young. I'm 34. I'm like kind of kind of the young adults and the older adults are kind of either side of me at this point. So it's like, I don't know. I think a lot of older people have been filling a lot of younger people's heads with shit.
The world is horrible. This is why everyone is so mentally ill. 1984 can be used to back up why you shouldn't all have the same view, because, sorry, there's so much that I could say.
I think you make some good points about it being, no, but you're right, about it being Orwellian, I think, that people have to have the same view about trans, or the people were told not to believe their own eyes, their eyes and ears. That's another Orwellian thing, which might relate to gender, for example. Yeah.
Her hair is fried because it tried to sell ideas pink. Oh my god, I'm so glad that I stopped fucking bleaching the fuck out of my hair.
Okay.
But I respect your right to believe that I'm hateful. As much as it might be upsetting to hear,
Do I get attacked more viciously from trans ID'd people or cis allies? Usually trans ID'd types, but then it's usually like Twitter people, so I don't really know who any of these people are. And I don't know. Anyone can call themselves anything. That doesn't really mean much to me on the face of it, so it's hard to tell, but I would guess more trans ID'd people.
that's fine. Like, you can think that I'm hateful, and lots of people do, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to change your mind on that. The difference is that I'm respecting your opinion, your right to hold it even if I don't agree with you, and that's all I'm asking for.
It's easier to respect my opinion. My opinion doesn't make people want to kill themselves.
It's not making me want to kill myself. Let me be very clear. It's causing me pain. I'll say that much. This person needs to shut the fuck up about trans issues forever. This person needs to join Joe Van Bradley, Alec Gunter, Xander Howe, and every other awful fucking trans ally in just never talking about trans issues again. Just stop. You have nothing to give to any of us by insisting on talking about this subject that you know nothing about.
My issue with you, which is why I made such an effort to even be here to tell you to your face, is that you are damaging and hurting people so.
How so? And how aren't you? Like, when all this trans shit comes crashing down sooner than you think it will, how are you going to feel?
Horribly.
But Khadija, we're going around in circles just because you.
Yeah, we're going around in circles because narcissists don't have enough empathy to ever listen to people like.
Projection. Don't worry, in 4 years she will wear a burqa and advocate for right to. Nice.
That's why we will continue to go around in circles, because you will never.
It's always the other person's fault. Do you think this person has ever admitted fault for anything ever? Do you think this person knows what guilt is or what it feels like?
Hardly spoken.
Fine, speak more then. Speak more then. If you want to speak more, speak more. If you want her to speak more, tell her to speak more. I don't understand why you're trying to use that as a point of. Just tell her to speak more.
She's so angry. What are you doing? This isn't even your fight. You're not even trans. What are you fucking doing? Is this chick from London? I have no idea.
More then.
Would you like to speak more?
To get a better understanding of campus.
Like, what about? I don't know. She just stood there calmly. The other person's the one getting angry when they're the one doing all the attacking. Like what she said about the other person.
Censorship. I met with controversial professor Philip Kiselli, who is under investigation at Leeds and isn't allowed to say exactly why. He's vocal online about his concerns over mass immigration, gender and cancel culture.
Are you able to talk about your job at
They censored Goosebumps. Fucking hell. I remember Goosebumps from when I was a kid. I don't know if it needed censoring, but okay.
University of Leeds.
I'm a lecturer in performance and cultural histories. I've taught in higher education for over 25 years. So I know what's going on and I know the changes that have occurred. So I've been on the receiving end of pylons and a cancellation as well, right? So at the moment, what happens is you say something, the mob disagree with you, you are a heretic. So they try and take your livelihood away, they try and shame you publicly. I think what's going to happen now is they're going to lock you up. These people aren't interested in just...
The idea I posed that both allies and TRA is that trans people are so brittle, they're ready to commit over every disagreement is so weird to me. Yep, disgusting. It's basically just boilerplate manipulation. Oh, well, be nice to me or I'll kill myself. Amazing. Brilliant. Happy New Year, Ear to Porn 09. I will say your name in a way that makes sense one day. Hope you're good.
Shouting you down or calling you names. In fact, you don't know what these people might.
From the river to the sea, Nathan Weddle will be free. Wait, I think they're talking about something else. Actually, never mind.
Be capable of.
I understand there's some sort of process or investigation to do with controversial things. Is that right?
I'm on the wrong side. But the irony is, of course, I think and speak for probably a huge portion of the population who feel exactly
Porn 09. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
The same. In the past, universities used to be a kind of vanguard of ideas. There's always a bit of craziness, but generally speaking, they were a testing ground, a marketplace, if you like. I think they're the opposite now. I think they're indoctrination centers. It went on steroids with BLM. Lockdown poured fuel on the flames.
Listen, you wanna hear more perspectives on BLM? Look up a song called Full of Life by Sun Kill Moon. Amazing song.
And now it's Hamas, for God's sake.
I know it's like 13 and a half minutes, but just trust me, okay? Just trust me on this.
I think I should be able to
By the way, BLM nowadays, the only place you ever see BLM is on like white queer people's like social media presence, like in their bios alongside ACAB. Like BLM, Black Lives Matter, is literally now just a way for white queer leftists to find each other online. Is ghoulish, is disgusting. How do these people look at themselves in the mirror? You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, it's crazy to me. But that's all I ever see, like BLM the last few years. There's not really much going on anymore because like they all got fucking body cams and now and unfortunately the police kind of showed that most of them are just normal people, it turns out. So now ACAB BLM is just fucking leftist queer white people shit. Amazing. Amazing.
Hey, trans women are men changed my mind. Seeing what's been happening across campuses over the last 6 months or so, since October the 7th, has just been a vision of insanity. We have people masked, chanting in support of terrorist organizations and openly condemning and
BLM's a scam, always has been. I agree with the sentiment behind it. Like, I understand like the issues with, you know, policing around like black people and stuff. But like they made like an organization out of it, which is some weird like pseudo-commie fucking shit. Like it got crazy, and the problem is it kind of morphed into that whole defund the police thing, which there was no consensus on why to defund the police other than to punish them apparently. And then it became ACAB, and ACAB is brain rot, stupidity, just dumb. Yeah, I agree with like the sentiment. I mean, it was just a slogan at first, and I don't really disagree with it, but like the actual like organization is like strange. It's very strange. They were trying to do a BLM protest, I think at an airport. I think it was in London or something, specifically because they decided that airports affect black people, even though all kinds of people live near them. I'm not sure. More of an all lives matter fella. Yeah, I mean, same.
Threatening Jews.
I was amazed to find that not only the students, but the professors were stifled. That's when Dr. Caselli told me something that shocked me to the core.
I found out that there was a hate campaign against me, an Islamist hate campaign of posters against me on campus. I will admit to being scared.
I was still hoping to get on Leeds Student Radio to hear their side. By chance, I was there on the day they broadcast their weekly politics hour. While waiting to hear from them, I got a call from my good friend, former Professor Peter Boghossian.
I think you're kidding yourself if you think that they're going to have you on their radio station or anything.
Oh, airports are extremely racist. Did you not know about that?
I mean, I would be flabbergasted if that happens.
As it turned out, depressingly, Peter was right. The radio station said no. I thought it was really sad.
Yeah, they don't defend their ideas. They find reasons as to why they shouldn't actually have to defend the shit that they think. And then they don't have to fucking ever sort their own fucking head out. It's always everyone else's fault. Amazing. Amazing. Don't trust anyone that's like this. Don't trust anyone that's always withdrawing from talking to anyone. It tells you a lot. Definitely do not trust anyone that tells you anything is not up for debate. If you hear the term, this is not up for debate, that should be a fucking blaring klaxon, red flag, fucking everything, whatever you fucking want to describe it as. That person is almost definitely a terrible person if they say shit like that. Especially about trans issues.
The Leeds Student Radio wouldn't have me, a former Leeds student, on to discuss their ideas. One member did agree to meet me, but when the radio station found out, they swiftly gagged him.
That's crazy. What? Like, for real?
Me. But when the radio station found out, they swiftly gagged him.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm taking his word for this, I guess, but like, that's fucked. No? Jesus fucking Christ, man.
At the last minute, we found Joe, who has been on the student radio and is a member. He was brave enough to speak.
I was just thinking, like, no matter what I say, I will offend someone.
Are you nervous to talk about it then?
Yes, true. Listen. People used to like treating me like I'm like unsafe to be around because I might say the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking say the wrong thing sometimes. My brain and mouth are not amazingly well connected. The thing is, the same could be said for most of you fucking people too. So it's fucking really annoying, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say something that's gonna offend someone once in a while. Is that the end of the world? I don't understand.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was hoping to get on the Leeds Student Radio. Why do you think that they refused?
I think they don't really want to give Connie more content, basically. She got heckled earlier today, people calling her a fascist. Like, she is quite an empathetic person.
Do you want to hit?
Yeah,
go on, hit. And while you're hitting at your point where you're most distracted, I'll ask you a difficult, complicated question.
Okay.
Do you think some people would have a problem?
I do quite like Andrew Gold in a way. Like, I don't usually think much about the people themselves, but like, I don't know, he's quite likable, you know?
With you being friends with her?
Yes, yeah, because I think some people think she is genuinely a hurtful person. Once you use the word.
Yeah, what people do, they hear like an opinion or something, and they judge people based on their opinions as to whether they're a good person or not. And you can't do that. I mean, maybe to an extent it depends on the opinion, but for the most part, you really can't do that. And what makes someone a good person really is not all that much to do with what they believe. It's just what they do with themselves. Like, if you're good to your significant other, then maybe you're a good person. If you're good to the people in your life, even if you think some things that not everyone likes, are you not a good person? This dude has got to have a crush on Connie. I mean, she's good looking, I can imagine.
Word transphobe, then all kind of humanity is gone. Yeah. And that they are the worst person in the world.
Were they right to remove her from the radio?
She does have freedom of speech, but
have I been cancelled by my friends or just music people? So this year I applied to Trans Pride. I mean, I was already like kind of where I'm at now, just less knowledgeable. But at the same time, I was like, you know, if this is an event for trans people as opposed to an event for pushing an ideology, then they should be cool with having trans performers there that don't think the same way and that might even want to bridge the gap in some ways and come to some kind of understanding. But they found my Twitter account where I shitpost heavily and immediately cut me off the thing, posted a thing publicly. My mum saw it and I got a message from my mum like, why aren't you performing at Trans Pride anymore? I'm like, am I not? Like, that's how I found out. It turned out this person whose name is... Never mind. On YouTube, they're called Just Mabes, okay? I don't give a fuck about people finding this person's channel because they're an utter degenerate piece of shit. They sent me some, like, brief email, like, super late at night And that was apparently them telling me, no conversation, no attempt to like, you know, why you like this, why do you do this kind of shit, which I'm happy to talk about how I behave to anyone, quite honestly, I don't mind. So there was that. I've had a lot of trans friends over the years that have like turned their back on me because I didn't agree with something like the Hogwarts Legacy boycott or trans women in female sports, which I'm not down with, because I'm not the most accepting of non-binary, because, you know, I just don't think you can call yourself something and that makes you anything. I don't see how that has anything to do with like who you are and what you are as a person beyond what you're telling me you are. So I've experienced a fair amount of like, you know, people will impugn my character because I don't agree with something like that. And I just don't want that shit. I don't want friendships that hinge on like one tiny thing where it's like, if I decide to come out and say, I think the Hogwarts Legacy boycott was retarded, that I'm going to get people I thought I was cool with like jumping on me. I don't want those kind of friendships. I've experienced a fair amount of it, but truthfully, I don't know. A lot of it was like quiet realizations and watching shit happen, because we had a local like transoid woke as fuck HQ, so to speak, in town for many years. It was like the last couple of years they haven't been there anymore. Thank fuck. I tried to be nice at the time when they closed down. I was like, you know, it sucks that another venue's gone down, you know, stuff like that, even though I don't agree with them. But like, these are the kind of people telling people that every tiny issue to do with trans, they need to go fucking ham on, that they need to have extremely entitled attitudes towards like their pronouns and stuff. Like, you should be militant about having they, them pronouns, even though no one is going to call you it naturally. Like shit like that. There were so many things. And a lot of it was like quiet realizations. A lot of it was reading things and being like, I do not relate to any of this shit. This is nothing to fucking do with why I became trans. Like, I thought it was just like a personal thing, you know? And then it was just a fucking, I don't know, they were trying to start some fucking cult. And unfortunately, I know literally about one person who's trans around here that doesn't have the exact same mindset in many ways. Like, everyone I meet, it's like, oh yeah, I'm like an anarcho-communist. And I'm like, oh my God, just stop talking. Just let's talk about anything else. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. there's a lot of things. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. I've been rambling a little bit. But yeah.
She doesn't have the freedom of consequence. Leeds Student Radio is a democratically run society with a lot of trans people in.
Yeah, but the thing is, Sir Callow, they called the trans character Serona, and that's a dog whistle or something. I don't know. I haven't played the game. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. But the whole Hogwarts Legacy debacle was complete bullshit. I watched it happen. I tried to tell people, this is really goofy. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy and leave them alone, because you're not a fucking transphobe if you play a video game vaguely derived from something J.K. Rowling made. But no, that's not what everyone else wanted to do. Like, the people that ran this place that I was talking about, they're like in their 40s. One of them pretends that she's trans, even though she's literally just a woman who took on he, they pronouns. Posts every single fucking trans day of visibility. This is what a trans person looks like. You're a fucking woman. Get over it. And like, these people, when this stupid fucking boycott didn't work, they were all running around on the internet, like spoiling the ending of the game. These are people in their 40s. I'm in my 30s myself. And watching this stuff, I just thought like, I don't know. I can't respect someone that's older than me that acts like a fucking 10-year-old. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work that way. Like, fuck that. Like, embarrassing. We lost so fucking hard on that Hogwarts Legacy shit. And instead of taking the L, instead of understanding that this just wasn't a good battle to fight, because that was another thing. I'd constantly talk about how I think personally that trans people should pick their battles. You know what I mean? Don't go after every tiny little thing as if it's the biggest deal in the fucking world. And then these people with their massive fucking social media profile, oh no, go ham over literally everything. Be fucking entitled as fuck over your pronouns. It's mad. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense anymore, so I'm just going to keep watching this.
Gender critical people.
Basically being cancelled locally. Can't be asked trying to find new friends. Yeah, fair enough. To be fair, when it comes to younger people, I think women are still continuing to skew more like left-wing. But men are kind of starting to skew a lot more right-wing, so I don't know. Like, things are changing in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? You're saying a woman is upset being a woman, so they choose to fake being trans, to be all like trans women are women, more or less. This person identified as non-binary and therefore trans. So it's literally trans by technicality, and then they take on all the fucking oppression bullshit, all the victim Andy shit that half the local trans people were on. It's embarrassing. They're not even trans. They're not changing anything about themselves. They literally just look like a woman because they are one. It's preposterous. And this person is in their 40s. Like, there's a part of me, when I see these older people that do this crazy shit, I'm like, fuck, will something go wrong in my brain and I will end up like that one day? Because I just assume that most people learn and know better as they get older. But it is not always the case, because indoctrination is a powerful thing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but it's the top.
I very much do want people to be grown-ups. And I think if trans people acted like grown-ups, we wouldn't have half the problems we have, you know what I mean?
Type of language that some people don't want to hear.
If the university were to take further measures, disciplinary measures, potentially expelling her.
How do I define someone who is trans? Nowadays, I don't even fucking know. Before, I think the way I would generally put it is like, either you're going through transition steps to become more like the opposite sex, or you at least have the desire to. Whereas plenty of these people that call themselves non-binary and by extension trans by technicality, they are not changing anything about themselves except their pronouns and maybe their name. It's the same thing with, because one of the people from Trans Pride came after me on my stream. I was talking to someone called Katie something. It was like one of the first like debates that I did. I don't really do debates very often, but it was something that I did. Borg Skeptic, there we go. And this person showed up like towards the end of the stream to just like scream at me and stuff. They left like this long ass comment on one of my videos about how hurtful what I'm doing is. And like, oh, we were your friends. And I'm like, I didn't barely know fucking any of you because I kept my distance because you all seem fucking weird. I was like actually friends with maybe one or two people. And like, those one or two people, as far as I know, I'm still cool with. Like, I'm just kind of waiting for everyone else to fucking snake out on me because they're all doing it in turn. Amazing. But like, yeah, it's preposterous. It's preposterous. I used to think that trans meant something. It meant you're going through a process or you intend to. But now pretty much I think it's bullshit. I think it literally is. I just call myself a thing. So maybe that person is trans, you know? But yeah.
Would you stand up and try and push against that?
It depends on the context.
Do you think they were wrong to ban her?
I've heard that it was due to a complaint, so I don't know who put the complaint in. What the union have set out and done is not great for freedom of speech within the union, because they haven't...
Here's the thing. So he knows this Connie Shaw person. So let's we're kind of assuming a bit, but let's assume that he knows her and she's not in fact a terrible, hateful person. So it's easier for him to understand. But what these other people don't want to do is like try and get to know a person that disagrees with them. They don't want to get to know with that person and humanize them. Because if you get to know them, you might realize that they're not the person you thought they were. And a lot of these people, they don't want to do that. They want someone to target. They want someone to hate on. So they're never going to make an effort. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of intersectional feminists or whatever, they just want to add people up like equations instead of, I don't know, getting to know someone who thinks differently to you and then trying to understand from their perspective, even if you don't agree with them. Like, when I say that kind of thing, like, you know, people don't know me and they say all this shit about me. I'm not saying if you actually knew me, you would 100% agree with everything I'm saying. I'm saying that you'd understand that I'm a fucking human being and that there is actual reasons behind the shit that I think and say, you know? It's wild, but there's a very concerted effort to never bother getting to know these people and to make sure that you're as unapproachable as possible, ideally by going on the offense. You know what I mean?
Specified what she said that was wrong, and she is kind of still in that grey area.
They never They never listen. This kind of shit sets me off, okay? If someone has done something wrong, you need to tell them what that thing was. If they don't even know what it was that they said or did that's wrong. Like, Jesus, that just disgusts me. I don't even know how to express how I feel about that shit, but I hate that shit. Someone has done something wrong, at least fucking do them the courtesy of telling them what it was. You know what I mean?
Set out and done is not great for freedom of speech within the union, because they haven't specified what she said that was wrong. And
yeah, there we go. Disgusting. Fucked. Like, fuck me. I hate that kind of shit. I think that kind of shit is disgusting.
He is kind of still in that grey area. And it is like the girl said it this morning. She said, well, isn't it obvious what she did? And I think the union does really need to specify what is stepping over that line.
You said to me before that you're proudly woke.
Being awoken to the issues of ethnic minorities when it came to civil rights and Iraq and even trans liberation and now Palestine. It's always been the students. Young people are very active, they're very aware of the world around them. And
or some would say malleable.
Yeah.
I mean, Stalin used the students, Mao used the students. Those are far left groups that used the students, made them believe in something they thought was good and led to millions of deaths. I mean, if woke was what you're saying it is, I mean, couldn't Connie be woke? Because she's aware of my...
For some reason, Maoism is quite big amongst trans people, which means that I get to hear... One of the things that started piquing me, actually, was, like, landlord brain rot. Like, far leftist brain rot about landlordism and lettings. I worked in lettings. For 4 years, I worked in maintenance, which is, like, the fucking money sink for landlords. Like, you've got a house that's got some problems with it. You might be forking out fucking thousands. You might be forking out many times the actual rent to get shit fixed. And then I just see all this, like, brain rot fucking takes about, like, oh, it's like they're parasites and stuff. And it's like, that's literally the be all and end all of that argument. It's like, you don't know anything about this subject and you insist on talking about it. Oh my God, it drives me insane. This kid is a comic. I don't know about that. Listen, he's a woke person, a possible left leaner who is actually willing to have a conversation and who actually understands the person, Connie Shaw, the one that's being fucking vilified in all of this. You know, fair play to him, to be honest. Like, I don't need people to parrot my beliefs back to me. If he doesn't agree with me on some shit, then fine. He's at least willing to have a conversation with someone who's supposedly, like, evil and transphobic and shit. It's like, nah.
Minorities, and she's looked into this a lot, and I think as you've said, she's a very empathetic person. She's very considerate. So
it's all your own interpretation.
You seem so well-rounded and eloquent that I don't think you are woke, and I think within a few years...
Yeah, see, Andrew is falling a bit into the trap of, well, you're sensible, so you must agree with me, or you must have similar takes to me. That doesn't have to be the case.
You will be distancing yourself from the world.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, you will.
I really like Joe. I like him so much that I let him hit that final shot 3 times just to make it look like he beat me. I just hope that me liking him doesn't make those around him not like him. It's a kiss.
Yep, that's the other kind of cross to bear of telling the truth. Anyone that talks to you, all your weird fucking cultoid friends will be like, what are you talking to that guy for? Are you fascist or something? Like, hey.
Of death. It was now time for the big finale, a meeting at the home of the university's most infamous student, Connie Shaw.
Connie, what's going on?
Well, everyone at uni seems to be a bit upset because I've been saying things that they don't like, and, well...
I actually find it just very relatable. Like, I've been saying things that people don't like again. Yep, I know that feeling. I know that feeling quite well. Oh, man. I actually feel for her quite a lot, to be honest.
For that, I was suspended, and well, now I have been permanently...
Listen, I'm trans, I'm supposed to hate this fucking person. All I heard was, I like Joe, so I let him in. Nice. Yes.
Suspended from my committee role at Leeds Student Radio for what I believe and what the Free Speech Union believes. And then today, people have had the opportunity to come and say the things they want to say to my face.
Because narcissists don't have enough empathy to ever listen to people like me.
So what is it that you are actually suspended for?
I was found guilty of bringing LSR into disrepute. but they haven't specified.
Found guilty. Found guilty. It's a fucking university radio station. Found guilty. Like, fuck off.
I was found guilty of bringing LSR into disrepute, but they haven't specified what I've done that's done that.
Oh, hey, Chairman Meow. Yeah. We're getting close to, I had, I think, 93 viewers when I spoke to Chad Lodrick. And we've come a few times, we've come close to doing that without his help. So, yeah. Hope you're good.
If I want to run again for committee, I'd have to write an apology to the wider membership and take mandatory training.
And disgusting. Re-education. Fuck that shit. These people must know what it is that they're doing. They must know. Like, come on.
Do you want to do that?
No.
No. That sounds a little bit Maoist.
Even if I wanted to apologise, how could I possibly apologise when they haven't told me what I've done wrong?
Is there a huge problem with free speech on Leeds University campus?
Only with certain issues. I mean, the things that the pro-Palestinian protesters have managed to get away with are quite remarkable.
Is it equal on both sides with Israel and Palestine in terms of free speech?
I mean, this is going to get me in trouble saying anything here, but the students who talk about Israel and Palestine, the vast majority of them are going to be pro-Palestine. There was a Jewish show on LSR and that came under loads of fire after October 7th. I have a friend who has Israeli connections and peers were really sort of hostile towards her, from what I understand. One of the many messages I've had from students as a result of what's happened to me, one girl messaged me saying that she was in the Philosophy Society.
Main leftist fallacy is a solution to everything. It does feel like it has to be all or nothing. It's only with age that you realize there is only compromise if everyone is to live in this society. Yeah, I mean, politics is compromise. And the amount of so-called left-leaners or whatever that don't understand that. Like, the Sarah McBride situation was a really good example. Sarah McBride being a transgender Congress member. And she was like, there was immediately a vote put through saying, don't use the women's toilets. And her response was like, well, I'm here to do my job rather than piss in the women's. And loads of like leftoid fucking trans people got really upset about that because they don't understand the concept of compromise, which is what fucking politics is built on. Like, democracy, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? It's insane.
But as soon as she expressed that she was gender critical, she was just called a bigot. So
the atheist community. I come across a lot of atheists. What's weird about the atheist types is they're like genuinely skeptical of religion, and then the very opposite of skeptical when it comes to trans. Like, you can't make it up how weirdly ironic it is, and how they will do anything they can to pretend they don't understand how hypocritical and like how off that is, you know?
She doesn't go anymore.
So it's not necessarily then a free speech issue. It's actually...
She didn't get in trouble for being pro-Israel. She doesn't actually know exactly what it was that she said, but she talked to Graham Linehan. I think she's espoused the belief that trans women are not women. There was another thing I think she was involved in, like, some women ended up having to turf out a bloke that was using a female toilet in a club. Stuff like that.
Free speech issue around gender and Israel.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
I think there needs to be a serious restructuring of...
They didn't need compromise before because they were winning, but times have changed now. Yep. And hopefully they will sink like a fucking stone because of it. I don't mean that I hope that these people die. I just hope this shit dies, you know.
The way that students are taught, things like trigger warnings, and just the fact we're not exposed to other sides of the arguments. I mean, there are things that I would love to talk about in my course, but I can't because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, like, I'm an atheist myself, and it seems wild to me. Like, I know Richard Dawkins is being, like, shit on a lot at the moment over this. Ray's recent video about atheist allies was really good. I'll have to have a look. To be honest, I end up watching so many of those people anyway, because it's interesting to me. I've watched Matt Dillahunty recently. Actual Jake, he's another example. Terrible content creator. Apparently he was good back in the day. Now he just gets stoned and shits on anyone who doesn't agree with him. Complete waste of space. Useless.
But I'm conscious of the fact that we're not always told both sides of very hotly debated topics.
What do you think about the woman who screamed at you this morning?
I mean, it didn't surprise me. I was expecting that to happen. I'm surprised only one turned up. I mean, the rest of them are cowards. I think, hats off to her. She actually came and said it to my face, which I really respect, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
She is just clearly very passionate, I would say misguided, but that's the issue with these things, because how we would refer to gender ideology as gender ideology, but then trans activists would say that gender critical is also an ideology. But for me, it's like, but it's evidence based. So how can?
That's what she said. She said that this morning.
Yeah, oh, really? Yeah, but gender ideology is evidence based.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think she's wrong.
I thought you were making a just.
I realised you thought I was making a joke.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
I'm sorry.
Gender
That's
ideology. No, she did
Yeah.
say that this morning.
Yeah.
That something happened in 1995. I mean, it didn't seem quite right.
No.
Screaming at you that you were a narcissist and that you showed no empathy, and I think, I don't know, but I wonder if viewers will be watching that and thinking those things at this moment in time apply to that.
I was watching The Atheist Experience, and the line when the switch to gender happened, it caused me extreme cognitive dissonance. I'm not surprised. Jesus, I've tried watching The Line many times. I don't know if The Atheist Experience is the same. I should really have a look. I've watched The Line quite a few times. They have pretty awful, content creator fucking also rans like Luxander and Josie Rose and idiots like that doing their shit for them. None of these people have anything to say of any sense at all. But because they're pro-trans and because they were making videos since 10 years ago, what the fuck ever, and managed to get 10,000 subscribers, which is pathetic, frankly, they get propped up by shitty fucking channels like The Line.
That woman who as she gets older might appreciate other sides more.
Yeah.
I know, there's so much pedantry around gender critical and stuff at the moment. I'm not really sure. There's gonna have to be clarity at some point, but I don't know if we're quite at that point yet. So
Yeah, I do feel bad because I feel like perhaps she'd look back at that and think that there was a better way to conduct it. But I think perhaps as she was realising that she was finding it hard to articulate her point, that the only thing she could resort to was shouting at me,
screaming.
Which,
Listen, maybe it'll be a few years. I think she probably will either look back on that or remember that interaction and feel like a fucking loser. I left the atheist scene when the TDS got too obnoxious. Oh yeah, they were probably doing that as well. To be fair, that might have interested me back in the day. I'm not a Trump fan, I never have been, but I definitely used to be a bit more aggressive in what I think about those kinds of people, whereas nowadays it's not even my country anyway, and I know I don't want to make dividing lines on whether you're welcome around me based on who you fucking voted for. I'm just not interested in that anymore. I think people have value regardless of who they voted for, and it's extremely toxic to claim otherwise, especially when everyone that thinks that literally just thinks that the only people with anything valuable to say or contribute are people that agree with everything they think. So it's just narcissism,
it happens to the best of us, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really hard to grow a channel from nothing, especially one with huge expenses. So please support by clicking like and subscribe, and comment below what you want me to investigate next.
There we go. That was interesting. Andrew Gold. Someone was asking me to get Connie Shaw to talk to me. I don't know how to get people to talk to me, but listen, if it happens one day, cool. Not just her, any of those kinds of people, really. I'm interested in perspectives, so.